When the Cleopatra show came out, it caused a lot of controversy, especially in the online political space. The criticisms ranged from blackwashing a white character to not respecting historical accuracy. Here is an example of it by the totally normal Matt Walsh, who happens to be one of the biggest conservative political commentators.
A white historical figure and have a black actor or actress portray them. I could be totally fine with that if we had a consistent standard for these sorts of things. Okay, if we just took the approach across the board that, hey, whichever actor seems to nail the role the best, just cast them. It doesn't really matter what their race is, and there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief. But again, all these stories are either fictional stories, or at a minimum, they are fictionalized accounts of historical events. If that was our attitude across the board, then I'd be fine with that. I'd be on board with that. But we know that's not the case. We know that this would never go the other way. It never could go the other way. But if there is any hope of compromise, if this is one issue we can compromise on, I'd take that compromise. Race swapping, have fun with it. Do everything.
Man, are you stupid?
I would agree with Matt, but reality happens to be as such that it does go the other way. Jesus is mainly presented to be white. However, historically speaking, he would not have been.
The other way. It never could go the other way.
Now, as Christmas around the world is celebrated, as is the birth of Jesus, there are suggestions that the image that we actually have of him could be wrong. Now, on the left of your screen, you'll see the traditional depiction that we have of him in a church's stained glass window with long hair and a beard. But on the right is a reconstruction of a 2,000-year-old skull of a man from the Galilee area. And this is much more likely to be what Jesus looked like. Take a look at the full story if you want. It's on our website. Just head to bbc.com.
We know that this would never go the other way. It never could go the other way. This would never go the other way.
Jesus was supposedly born in Bethlehem, which is in modern-day Palestine, and the people over there look Middle Eastern. They have dark hair and olive to brown skin. You wouldn't find blonde-haired, blue-eyed people native to that region. But despite that, Jesus is still presented to be white.
It never could go the other way.
My question for Matt would be, if your personal hero is also race-bent and you got no problem with it, then why make a big deal about Cleopatra?
Why?
But we all know why he does that, right? It's because that's what his audience wants. So he will criticize the left for things that he seems to be okay with on the right. And that is white fragility. The term white fragility was popularized by author Robin DiAngelo, a sociologist and a scholar.
White fragility refers to the discomfort and defensiveness that some white people experience when confronted with issues of race and racism. It's particularly triggered by discussions about white privilege or the ways that racism might be built into societal systems.
Taken out of water. I would not have been able to tell you I had a racial worldview because as a white person, I was raised to see myself as just human. Now, you're a particular kind of human. I'm just human. And if we're going to be talking about race, I expect we're going to be talking about your race, not my race.
Why white fragility, and how do we recognize it?
The fragility part is meant to capture how little it takes to set white people off, to set us off into defensiveness. So for many white people, it's a kind of delusion. I think that, some people have said when you're used to 100%, 98 feels oppressive, right? As a white person, I was just raised to expect the world to be mine in absolutely any field. I see myself represented. I see myself represented in all my teachers and my curriculum and my heroes and heroines. And so even the suggestion that we need to make sure we're being fair and including other people seems to set the white collective off.
It is very important to me that I say this. If you're white and you're watching this, my intention is not to be an asshole to you. Of course not. I never want to be in a position where I am hurting a soul. I love you all.
Are you gay? I love all humans.
But you also cannot deny that there are dorks like Matt Walsh who have made a career out of misrepresenting information and demonizing other people.
It never could go the other way.
Gay couple existing, gay couple and wherever.
Oh yeah, down ballistic.
But then again, Matt has an IQ of a donkey, so maybe we should let it slide. But no, wait, we shouldn't let it slide, because this guy is famous for lying and misrepresenting information like he tried to do on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Professional reputation, because that's the other problem. Not only is it the political incentive and the money, but if they admit that they're wrong, then they're also admitting that they have horribly disfigured and abused thousands, maybe millions of kids.
How many people have had this done?
Depends on what. I don't think we have exact numbers, but if we're talking about the drugs, millions.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? You're talking about hormone blockers.
Yeah.
Millions of kids have been on hormone blockers? Really?
I'm sure someone's going to fact check me on that, but my guess is that we're into the millions now at this point. Yeah, that would be my guess.
Do whatever you want. But when you're talking about doing that to children, the fact that so many people are on board and so many people are angry, if you have, people are going to be angry at us that we're having these conversations.
Yeah, they will be. And I also, I actually think that this shouldn't be happening to.
It's a very small number, if that's right.
It says over the last 5 years, there were at least 4,780 adolescents who started puberty blockers and had a prior gender dysphoria diagnosis.
It says it's kind of undercounted, but
that would be a big undercounting.
Less than 1,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess, hundreds of thousands at this, but I could be wrong.
Million sounds great.
Yeah.
Imagine how much he must be lying on his own show where there is no one to fact check him. I want to finish my video off by analyzing another quick video. This one is by the Young Turks, and I hope this video helps further drive the point home.
Christmas, she's going to bring Santa into it. She's going to bring race into it. Fascinating. Let's watch.
In Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed and I said, oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa, And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But Santa is what he is, and just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids. Okay, I wanted to get that straight.
Oh, Santa's white, is he? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Santa's, of course, based on St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas is from modern-day Turkey. Interesting. I'm glad to think Fox News thinks that Turks are white. Thank you. And you might think that, right? Now, of course, he wasn't Turkish. He was Greek at the time. and for all time, really. And what happened was the Dutch took it and made a bunch of stories about it. And a lot of that happened in the U.S., people of Dutch origin. And also, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe for a long time, especially in Holland. And so the Dutch started calling him Sinterklaas. It's kind of fun. I can go back to that. Sinterklaas is coming. And they had all these stories about reindeer and a jolly elf. What you see here, of course, is a picture of the actual Santa Claus, who doesn't quite look white on the right, and then the Santa Claus that he wound up becoming. So St. Nicholas, that's from an old Eastern Orthodox church drawing. Now, we don't have an actual picture of St. Nicholas, and there's many different pictures of St. Nicholas, where he looks largely Mediterranean. In that picture, he doesn't look particularly black, right? But likely he wasn't black or white, he was Mediterranean. Whatever you might think is Mediterranean, whether you consider that white or not. But I love the fact that Megyn Kelly's like, no, kids at home, remember, Santa's white. Don't let the liberals tell you otherwise. Now, of course, we're also leaving out the fact that Santa Claus doesn't exist. It's a tiny little fact that we left. Right? Another figure is white. Let's watch.
Just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. Jesus was a white man too, but it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that.
Yes.
But my point is, how do you just revise it, in the middle of the legacy of the story and change Santa from white to black?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You can't take facts and then try to change them to fit some sort of a political agenda or a sensitivity agenda.
You can't change the color of Jesus or Santa to fit your agenda, said Fox News. Now, Jesus is white, everybody. You remember that, all right? Blonde, blue-eyed, white. They didn't say blonde and blue-eyed, to be fair. But let me show you the real men of Bethlehem. Interesting. So that's a depiction of men from the literal town of Bethlehem, where Jesus came from. Show you again. Now this will be an actual picture of a guy from Bethlehem next to Fox News' version of Jesus. On the left, we have the Fox News version. On the right-hand side, we have an actual dude from Bethlehem, which is probably what Jesus looked like. Not specifically that gentleman, but certainly that tone. Look what a guy from Santa Claus's particular region might look like. Well, I actually know a guy from a very nearby area in Turkey. The town that St. Nicholas is from is Demre. He looks like this. Oh, yeah. Right now, heads exploding at Fox News.
I hope the main takeaway from this video is that these people aren't bastions of freedom, historical accuracy, or
My sound is accurate.
or truth like they claim to be. They're just hypocrites. And I want to dedicate my channel to calling these people out. As of uploading this video, I have 0 subscribers. So I would love for you to be the first few people to support me. So please like and subscribe.
Channel and please subscribe.
Especially if this message resonated with you. Liking and subscribing will help it push it out to more people so that more people can see this hypocrisy. One last thing, consider supporting me on Patreon. It could allow me to hire an editor so that I can spend more time scripting and researching. And with all that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.